We are hosting the show.
Introduce yourself to everybody. You're live, kiddo.
TJ,
Introduce yourself.
yo,
Yo. No, you're working tonight. Okay. Say hi, everybody.
hello.
You're not even looking at all the screen. There's 3 people there. People are saying hi. Look at what people are writing on the screen. Read your screen. Like that's Instagram. Read what they're saying.
They're not saying anything.
TJ, look, they're waving at you. No? No one is saying hi.
Okay, that's the one.
You're
Hello.
hosting the show tonight.
No, I gotta go eat.
You gotta go eat?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jesus. You gotta love kids. You gotta love kids. So I gotta go eat. Hi, everyone. Hello. Ouch. So my shoulder is still. Anyway, Laura Kosha. He's already gone. Anthony TJ, exactly. He's gonna. Anthony TJ is more interested in going to eat. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hi, everybody. I know some people are just on Bobo Lawyer. I know some people are just going on spring break this week. I want to see spring break. What to see cold weather. It was a shock. Like I mean, come on, people. Hi, everyone. Hello, 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 Illinois. Hi, I'm back. I am back. I am back. I needed that break, and I came back to a full week of court today, tomorrow, Thursday. So if you're waiting on me to get to respond to emails, please bear with me. I do criminal defense and family law, so that's taking court today, tomorrow, and then Thursday, and then finally, hello, Dreezy, how are you? Friday going to be able to review stuff on Friday and keep things moving. How's everybody doing? Cabo Syria to Hawaii. I told you I was going to host tonight. I'm like, really? Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know because I don't have daughters. Maybe that will be different. But I think I am. It's a blessing in disguise that I don't have daughters because I know, God's got a great sense of humor. If I had a daughter, she'll be exactly like me, same personality. He would one of us would be in jail. And so could need lost in jail. But hi everyone, come on in. Say hello as you come in. I missed you guys still last week. But I listen. So on Tuesday, I actually put a post up, or let me say, my girl, I have someone who does my social media for me, and basically she's taken over. Well, 2 people. One person posted. I send it. I have to review and make sure because I'm the one that's responsible for the legal notes that goes with it, and then Lydia does the messages, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to have an Instagram, a separate personal Instagram where I do. If you send me a message about immigration on my personal Instagram page, I would not respond. But so yeah, but I put a post on Tuesday, Illinois. Bikini put a post on Tuesday, but on Thursday, I was on the beach. So I forgot to. They sent me something to review. I didn't get to review, and they're like, "Oh well, listen, I want you to understand." So happy Tuesday, Miss Giwa. I just sent you an email. But it was because whenever my kids are on spring break, I try to time a mid break in first quarter of the year about the time they're on spring break because that's my first priority as a mom. Nothing comes before that. Well, the only thing that comes before that is being a child of God. It's God, myself. People always say, no, you think about your kids first. That's not the order. If I'm not mentally healthy, I can't take care of anybody. And I had to learn that because being Africans, a woman has to forget all about herself, and you're no. I got to a point. That's one of the reasons why I filed for divorce. You got to get to a point where you have to understand that if you are not okay, you're not in any capacity to take care of anybody else. So that's how it is. Hi, everyone. Hi, TikTok family. So that's what it is. So, God, take care of Abby. They're my children because a healthy mother, a woman is a healthy mother. So I can't be a healthy mother without being a healthy woman in mentally sound. But everything else comes down to my children. That's just the way it is. Full time mom, practice law in my spare time. But thank you I missed you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. So let's talk immigration, everyone. Eleanor's, I missed you too. Thank you for your support each and every time. I do not take it for granted. God knows that I do not. Um, feel recharged now. So this is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale. Omo Baba Samu. Baba Samu's birthday is coming up a week from Friday. My dad would have been 85. But, God had other plans for him. And talking about losing dads, my ex-father-in-law, my ex-husband's dad passed away 2 days ago. So they say a little prayer for my ex-husband. It doesn't matter how old parents are. A loss is a loss is a loss, and he was really close with his dad. And the funny thing is, he went to Nigeria a week ago because he was really sick, and they told him it's bad. He was able to go. Thank you, Illinois. He was able to go to see him, and shortly after, I think 3 days after he came back is when his dad passed away. So I mean, that's still the I may not be married to him anymore, but that was still my children's grandfather. So it's been tough for him. He still has to come back, and where he's back, and he has to. He's a physician, so he still has to see his patients and go on with life with that amount of loss. So if you say a word of prayer for him, and just keep him in your prayer, Dr. Olale. So I appreciate that. But anyway, thank you. I will send that to him. Let's talk immigration. If you guys need to contact us, 334, Eleanor has already put it on Instagram, 334-341-4475. You can also send us a text to that number. It's the same number on WhatsApp. We have an auto reply on WhatsApp. Let me say it again. We do not take calls on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is strictly for messages. Our system works the way it is right now. So everything is centralized and everybody has the role that they play. So if you need to talk to somebody, please call out. Thank you, Illinois. Please call our number directly, 334-341-4475. Send a text to that number. I have the app that comes to my phone. All of us see it, but if it's something I have to respond to, at least I can see it myself. Also visit our website I will send that to him at DM. Thank you. At olalealawfirm.com. Let's talk immigration. Subscribe to YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's at Olale Immigration. And I'll try to make it short so I can get questions since we missed the whole of last week. So what are we talking about tonight? Let's talk about going from a 2-year to a 10-year green card without your spouse. And thank you, Illinois. Yes, I represent everybody, immigration clients in all states. It doesn't matter what state you live in. So yes, I think 2 weeks ago I was just in Houston, Texas. So it doesn't matter because immigration is federal practice. Going from a 2-year to a 10-year green card without your spouse. Basically, what can you file an I-751 without the help of your spouse? If you started with a joint petition, what happens if your spouse decides to use your immigration case as a weapon or to use that to hold you hostage? What are the options you have? You can just get approved for your green card. Tamzi, congratulations. That is amazing. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Even though I was on vacation last week, but duty called, so I was out of town, but I had Mr. K, who is my client, who is the latest green card, 10-year green card holder in congratulations, Mr. K. His case was a self-petition. We filed an abuse-based case. And the one thing a lot of people do always doubt is, okay, if my spouse is not helping me, how do I do that? What happens? Congratulations, Samsi. And many spouses make you believe that you need them to go from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, and that's not true. It's not true. It's not fully true. I've seen situations where it will be a joint filing at first, and then the spouse gets, they get spiteful, they get vengeful, and then because I have a client that literally the spouse sent a letter, they filed a joint petition. The spouse sent a letter to USCIS withdrawing the petition just to spite my client, and alleging that my client married them just for the green card. And so, unfortunately, USCIS had to acknowledge that they were no longer going to be a joint petitioner, and now we're on a self-petitioner. But the thing is, we're now able to use that spouse's behavior as part of the abuse. So normally you would have to have the general rule is this: once you get a 2-year green card is given when your marriage is less than 2 years, at the time your I-485 is approved, or at the time that you get your immigrant visa at the embassy/consulate. You now have, before the end of the 2nd year anniversary from the time you get your 2-year green card, you are required to file the I-751. Now, note, I also have clients who filed an I-90 thinking that's what they had to file. But if you have a conditional residency card, what you need to file is an I-751 to go from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card. An I-90 is for those who have already gotten the 10-year green card and have to renew or replace that green card. So, the general rule is you have to file with your spouse, and so if you file with your spouse, you can file within a 90-day window before the end of the 2nd year anniversary. However, if you're not going to file with your spouse, USCIS, the law allows you to file a self-petition. And I'm going to make sure that we talk briefly about the difference between an abuse-based 751 and a VAWA case. So you can file a self-petition, a waiver, and basically the waiver is waiving the requirement of the joint filing with your spouse. That's the whole idea of the waiver. So we're asking USCIS to waive the requirements to file jointly with your spouse based on A, B, C, D. My spouse, I entered this marriage in good faith, but now we have divorce, and here is proof of good faith, here is proof of divorce. Or because if all the grounds apply to you, you can't select all that apply to you. It doesn't have to be just one. Or marriage was in good faith, but along the line, I have been subjected to abuse. Here is the proof of good faith. Here's the proof of the abuse. Or if it's talking about a child, and that's an option, but I primarily represent spouses. And then the last one is extreme hardship. I'm asking for a waiver of the joint filing based on extreme hardship, in the sense of, if I'm not granted my 10-year green card, I will be subjected to extreme hardship. That's the only ground in an I-751 that does not require you proving that your marriage was in good faith. That is the law. Sometimes immigration officers who try to ask you questions about a good faith marriage, but hardship does not require the evidence or you proving good faith. However, it is the toughest ground to be able to get an approval on, because the good faith is not required, and you have to show extreme hardship. You've been here for too long. You don't have any ties back to your home country. There are no employment. There's no, you have medical issues that is going to subject you to harm, or you will be detrimental to your health. Many people do not use that. It's a hard ground to prove. Unless you just don't have anything else, then that's a default. That's a catch-all kind of thing. So how do you go from a joint petition to a self-petition asking and seeking for a waiver? Let me say this. If you're filing your I-751 as a self-petition, you are not required to wait for 2 years before you file. Let me say that again. If you're filing an I-751 based on an I-751 self-petition, meaning I'm asking USCIS to waive the requirement of a joint filing because it's a good fit marriage, but we're divorced. It's a good fit marriage, but I've been abused, extreme hardship. You are not required to wait for 2 years. Example, You get your 2-year green conditional residency card January 2023. You get divorced from your spouse July 2023. Come August 2023, you can actually go ahead and file your I-751, even though you've had your 2-year green card just for 6 months, because that's what the law allows you to do. Another example, you've had your 2-year green card for a year. Now there's been domestic violence in the marriage. It's just been a year. You think you still have another year to go? No. You can go ahead and file an I-751 self-petition based on abuse without waiting for the 2 years, without the help of your spouse. Abuse-based 751 is completely different from a VAWA petition. It is covered under the same VAWA Act. But I see a lot of people file an I-751, and if something happens, the spouse doesn't file, withdraws the petition, the spouse is not going to file with them, then they decide that, or they're being told that they have to now file a VAWA case. An I-360 is for those who have not received a green card at all. If you are filing a 751, you already are a legal permanent resident, albeit a conditional one, but you already are a legal permanent resident. You're just going from being a conditional resident to a full permanent resident. I-360 is someone who doesn't have a green card at all. So it's covered under the same VAWA Act, but they're two distinct petitions. Have I seen both being filed? Yes. Can you have both? Yes. Another thing people do is this, for instance, the 751 is denied. Your spouse decides to be, spiteful. They cause your 751 joint petition to be denied. And then people start all over again because it's been denied. They file an I-130 as if they're just starting the green card all over again. The 751 usually would say, if it's denied, it would say henceforth, something to that effect. Your residency has now been terminated. It doesn't matter. Even if you're referred to immigration court, if you're going to a self-petition and you've never filed that with USCIS, USCIS has exclusive jurisdiction to adjudicate 751 petitions. And so you can go ahead and file a self-petition, a new one, in spite of being in removal proceedings, in spite of a denial of the joint petition. The more you know, people. So that's why it's always good to consult with a lawyer. So you can go from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card without your spouse if your marriage has ended in divorce, if your marriage hasn't ended, or you've suffered abuse. I had a client back in 2000. So he filed his case in 2020 with his spouse. They had 2 children. And then, and one of the reasons why I'm very passionate about representing people that are from my culture, in the sense of, or similar cultures, like most of my clients are Caribbeans and Africans. And I understand we have very similar cultures, and I understand, especially for men, but for both men and women, but especially for men, we are from a culture where when there is abuse in the marriage, you're raised not to air your dirty laundry. And that's just the way it is. That's how we're raised. I say that to say this. A lot of times people will not have what's it called? Abuse evidence, in the sense of police report, therapy, all of, going to shelter. Because of our culture, it limits us, and you're raised to just keep everything under wraps. That's just the way it is. So this guy was married. His wife, Auntie, she decided she was gonna make life miserable for him. I'm telling you. And he consulted with a lawyer. The lawyer told him he didn't have any proof that he had to file for divorce. That was the only way that he could get his 10-year green card. He saw me on social media, and so he filed in August 2020. He saw me in February 2021. We had about a month and a half to when he already was scheduled for an interview. This lady had packed up. One of the days he was out of the home, he was at work. She took both kids, packed everything out, and came back to her empty house. Didn't know where he took the kids to, nothing. He'd been told he couldn't do that. He had to get a divorce. He didn't want to get a divorce. He didn't even have the time to get a divorce. We're talking a month and a half. Long story short, found me. I told him, hey, listen, this is a long shot because we don't have anything else. But we crafted his declaration, got a witness affidavit, got, some pictures of, the house that she lived, the way she left it, some text messages. Long story short, as God would have it, we've converted, and there was a joint filing. I sent in a request before the interview date asking them that, hey, it was jointly filed. However, we are going to be switching to an abuse-based waiver case, so don't expect the spouse. It was quite a lengthy interview. I was there. This was in Kentucky, and I was there. So for those who are wondering if I represent clients in other states, yes, I do. And if my schedule permits, I will be there. And if you pay me to be there, I will be there. So, the officer asked several questions. He was hammering on, so why didn't you make a police report? And that's where I chime in. That's where I'm able to explain that, listen, I represent my clients, mainly this people from this particular region of the earth, because it's not part of what we do. We don't call the cops into our business. It's just family. It's not part of what we do. As an attorney that represents a group of people like that, I can step in and say, this is why he did not make a report. This is why, and it makes sense. And usually I include that in my declaration, that we're from a place where you just don't put your business out there. And so, long story short, he was granted his 10-year green card without the help of his spouse. So please understand, as long as you have your evidence, just like Mr. K, same thing with him. I was saying that I was technically on vacation, but I was actually so I joined the interview telephonically on Thursday morning. Duty calls. That's what it is. If I make a commitment to you that I'm going to be there all the way with you, better believe that we're going in it together. You and I, you can't get rid of me like that. But that's because I really truly invested in this job. It would be heaven to get approvals in every single case, but unfortunately, that doesn't happen. That's just what it is. As long as I can go to bed at night knowing that I did all that God has given me power to do, that's all I can do. So do not be afraid to go from a joint petition 751 to filing by yourself. Don't buy the BS that your spouse sells you, like you need them to get your 10-year green card. No. Tell them no, I don't need your that's the professional. I don't need you to help me. Y'all can tell I'm very fired up, right? I was very recharged, so I have all the energy today. Anyway, that's all she wrote, people. Okay, let's get to questions. Where's my glasses? Ojumida. So y'all pray for me. It seems like I may have to have surgery on my shoulder. I had an MRI done, and I was trying to stay fit. Want to catch exercise so we can look fit, right? Surely, I'm going to be 45 in 5 months. I'm not giving I'm not even, because my oldest kid is 18. Trying to copy the guy. Went to pick up weight, still drew power below. So, and it had been a while, but then I think that's what really, really messed up my shoulder. Laura Kansha, I tore my part of the muscle of my rotator cuff, and it hurts. So it looks like it's going to be surgery, and it's not going to be good in the sense of, can you imagine me being out for weeks? That's a struggle, I'm telling you. But we shall see. So needless to say, we ain't doing no exercise anytime soon. We'll leave the exercise for the 18-year-olds and just thank God for what we have. Let's see. Okay. Oh, by the way, yes, I got Illinois. I did a number because I had the MRI, and the exact wordings of the radiologist was full thickness tear. When I think I can't. When I said, I was like, how in God's name Did I do this to myself? So pray for me, people. Pray for me. We still look where our smart Tony. The smart Tony has left. He said he's hungry. What's it love? Like I said, TJ hosting the show, like why? I'm sure it's going to be different with girls because boys are something. Boys are something. Hello, Miss Wallace. How are you? Prince J, good boy. Don't blame him. I won't miss myself for social media stunt. my kids are. Thank you, Ultimate. Yeah, it was some heavy. What I think they were 15 pounds each, but I'm tiny. Like I'm 5 foot tall. I'm tiny. There's no other way to put it. Now, if you weigh, if whenever I get on the scale, and I always tell my doctor when I go to my doctor's office, myself one way, because I don't know if my mom is watching. If my mother's family don't leave anything inheritance to their children, they knew of one, big butt. There's no other way to say it. Like, I think 100 pounds of me is all my butt. People are like, okay, auntie, you need you. Yeah. Yep. That's one thing we can thank my mother's family for. I'm on good Ogunde sisters. She gone you. I'm a dupe low in care. I dupe everybody in family one money owo atile. Idi ati ta ile nko for our girls ni. But hey, if you look at it, true African, if you look at it though, because when I moved to the United States, especially within the last 5 years, the craze of people getting butt lift in what everybody wants to look African. And I'm thinking, so in Cotonou, like, just free of charge, man, people are actually paying for it. Thank you, July. People are really paying thousands of dollars for junk in the trunk is what I said. I had to one room and like, our family, yeah, my mama do care. I want Gunde sisters. So, yeah, listen, I can't complain about that one. But anyway, okay. Mojisola Bolatito, what's your question? What's your question? Oh, I was saying, okay, what else? Yeah, thank you for bringing. I was just saying that my kids are, they're very, very, they're similar and different. I always say I love my kids equally. I never compare my boys. That's one thing that I vowed when I first had my first child like this, because, back home, a lot of that happens. I always say you have to speak life into each child. So my children, I never compare. I don't ever say, hey, this is you should do this like your brother did. No, I never do that because they are different. Even if they were twins, they're still different. So I always say I love them equally, but I love them differently because each of them speaks a different love language. My oldest is not a hugger. He's not mushy. No, let's leave all that alone. That's just him. You've got to literally ask him, like, can you give me a hug? Like, hug your mama. My 12-year-old, on the other hand, the first thing he does is to hug his mama. Knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't change. My oldest, when he was 12, he's just never been the kid that hugs you. If he's hugging you, it's because something's wrong with you. Like you're in the hospital or something. But memory MK, I'm going to get a question. Just hold on. But, they're love them equally, but love them differently. Hello, Titi Dwyer. Thank you. Mojisola, I'm waiting for you on Facebook to let me know what your question is. So I'm gonna move over to TikTok. Hello, Mr. Darren. How are you? Sending love your way as well. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Idris. I appreciate that. Your Deji says, Cecilia, you're talking directly to my case. I really need to call you. Give me a call. Let's set up a consultation and discuss your case. There is in people me. There's no reason why we should be afraid to or be oppressed or suppressed And I know there's a lot of fear. People are like, it's easy for you to see lawyer. No, that's why if I cannot help you, I'll let you know. If I cannot help you, if there's someone else I can't, I'll refer you. Because it's not an easy journey to leave everything back home. There are people who haven't seen their kids in years just because they don't have the card, that green card, to just be able to leave freely and come back in. So the last thing you should allow to happen is somebody sitting somewhere because you're married to them, making you feel like you have no way. No. You've got to speak up. You've got to consult. Don't let the money be an issue. You've got to know what your options are. Okay? Hello, Mr. West. Okay. What can one do after getting 10 years green card, a month of landing in America, US? His wife destroyed his phone and her daughter punched him. What can he do to pull out of the marriage? He doesn't have to do anything. Just make sure he just has to make sure that he's recording that. The good thing is he has this 10-year green card, so that if she decides because people do that, they'll send a letter to immigration and say, that person married them just for green card. And so USCIS may not do anything until it's time for you to apply for citizenship. And then they bring all those questions, all those issues up. As long as he's keeping record, then that's going to be in his own defense. Okay. So he just has to keep his records. Good evening. VA approved since September 2022. Congratulations. But I'm yet to receive my green card. Please kindly advise on the reason for the delay. First of all, Prince J, did you file a 485? Because the VA petition is not a 485. Keep in mind, however, that if you filed a 485 at the same time you filed your VA case, it's only keeping the priority date. The 485 is usually not processed until the VA case has been approved. So if it's just being processed from September 2022, it's not a year yet. I don't worry when it's not a year. Okay, you did. I don't worry when it's not a year. It's not a year yet. Now, it can that be approved before a year? Yes, but that's just the standard. It's not, another client was telling me that, hey, somebody got their I-485 approved in 73 days after, their attorney reached out and they approved it when the attorney reached out. Like, listen, first of all, I don't go by what any other attorney does. No disrespect, everybody stays in their lane, and what works for you works for you. But when you're comparing cases, I always tell people, compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, not apple to grape. This person had filed the 485 since their VA was filed. My client was comparing what we just filed later part of last year, completely different. And whenever they send you an area for medicals, they're already working on your case. Every single case that I have where we received an RFE for medicals, I haven't had any case, knock on wood, don't let me jinx it, where we did not get the green card approved at most 30 days after. That's what I have seen in my firm. Because once they send you an RFE for medical, that means they're not going to schedule you for an interview. So, hello, David. So Prince J, I wouldn't worry until it's about a year. So give it some time and just see how things go. Okay. All right. Let's go to TikTok and I'll get to Instagram. Okay. Hello, Gary. I am fine. How are you doing? Why is 824 taking long? It depends on what it is that you're asking them to do, to take an action on. So it will just depend. How long will it take to get work permit, U visa, bona fide, filed in 2020? USCIS.gov/present times. Is Vermont working on cases? Yeah, they are. Can I reschedule my AOS interview due to COVID? And how long will it be to get another one? If you have COVID and you have proof that you have COVID, you can always send a request in to reschedule. Give yourself enough time. They will decide when they'll reschedule for another interview. Can changing your address affect your hearing case? I'm assuming that you're talking of immigration court. What do you mean affect it? In what way? I applied for my 10-year green card and it was issued 24 months extension. Oh, by the way, if you have an I-751 pending, they are, be on the lookout for those who had 24 months issued and before USCIS started issuing a 48-month extension. They are now sending you the 48-month extension for those who have pending cases. So be on the lookout for that. 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸�00 extension. Yes. So that's exactly what I just said. So what is your question still? My I-751 extension expires in September. Can I travel July? I don't push it. If it's going to expire within the next 6 months and you didn't get a 48-month extension, go get an InfoPass. Make an InfoPass appointment and get the stamp. Now, one of the things they're going to be doing, I think it was a week ago that USC has announced that they're going to now be mailing you an I-94. In place of you having to make an appointment if you need to have the I-551 stamp because you have a pending I-90 case or you have a pending I-751 case. So, you may call USCIS and that may be what would happen for you. I filed out in August 2021. Got EAD and advanced parole. How long will I-360 in 45? If you go to person times, you would see how long it's going to take. They sent me an I-693 deficiency letter. Is that a bad sign? No, it's just letting you know you didn't send in your 693 medical report. That's all. I got RFIE, request for initial evidence. Could it be related to medical? I didn't get the letter, but they already mailed it. Wait to get the letter. Y'all, I'm not a psychic because how am I supposed to know? Like, I don't even know what it is for my case. So how am I supposed to know? Yeah, like, okay, right. Okay. Do I have to be married to request my boyfriend from Nigeria? If you're a citizen, you can file for a fiancé visa for him. Lost my green card before my interview. How does that work? How does what work? Love the eyelashes on you. Says you look beautiful. Eyelashes. They're my eyelashes. I've never worn eyelashes before. Are you sure you're looking at my eyelashes or eyebrow? Because I shall leave. Thank you, though. I've never worn, nothing against it. I have very sensitive eyes. So that's why I don't even wear contacts because I have very sensitive eyes. So I can't put anything. So I don't even use mascara, really. I don't. Listen, I'm not a girly girl. I love fashion. Chili tail. I learned that from my mother. Like my mother was, my mom is going to be 70 in March 21st. In about 3 weeks, my mom is going to be 70. You would not believe she's 70. Auntie and she fashion like I want mommy and want she fashion. I did adjustment of status February 2022 in Maine and February. Whenever I see, because I've lived in the United States, it's going to be 21 years this July. So I'm so used to, because in Nigeria, we do date, month, and year. And so it took me a while, 21 years ago, to do month, date, and year. So whenever I see date, month, and year now, it confuses me. Like, yeah. So 16 February, that's February 16, 2023. Okay. It says active reviewing how long for the green card. I don't know. Okay, let's see. USCIS hasn't gotten back to me and my husband after a year of filing. It's taken about a year to 18 months for an I-130, really. When you get your green card through asylum, after you apply for citizenship, you have to wait 5 years. Okay, let's see. When is the April bulletin coming out? It should be out. I haven't checked today, but it should be out. If not, then it'll be soon. Okay, let's see. Okay, what's in there? My I-45 and I-130 got approved, and then I got a mail request, and I submitted another Listen, it's USCIS. Let me tell you how really making the word to move sometimes incompetent, whoever it is in USCIS is. I sent an I-751, 765 rather, employment authorization application for a client. They denied it, and I was like, okay, why in God's name did they deny it? We got the denial notice today. They denied because they said my client's I-45 had been denied in 2019, and I'm thinking, this has got to be the dumbest person, I'm sorry to say, who adjudicated this case, because my cover letter clearly states her I-45 is pending before the immigration court, and it has the receipt number right on the cover letter in bold font, and then a copy of the receipt notice itself that states it was filed in 2020. And to say I was frustrated this afternoon is an understatement, because now we have to so needless to say, I already have my letter, and so it's not uncommon that you have your green card approved and they tell you something. It's just USCIS. It is. So let's see. Do they normally request interview for I-130 and 45 without approval of I-130? USCIS has the discretion to schedule you for an interview, and both may be decided on the same day. My I-130. Okay, wait. I just jumped on questions. Give me 1 second. Where did that go? Okay, my I-130 got approved. What's next? File at 45 if you haven't filed one. Or if you filed one, then that will be the next thing they would approve. Can I open a business at home if I have a TIN, a tax identification number, or do I have to wait for work permit? A tax identification number is not authorization to work. What are the chances of getting a positive outcome for I-589 for female genital mutilation? About 25%. That's the approval rate of asylum. What country am I from? I'm from Nigeria. Can you not tell? Nigeria. I'm a mixture of Ondo State and Delta State. So if my Yoruba sounds funny, don't blame me. Will I be able to bring my brother from another mother to the U.S. as long as you share one parent? Okay, let's see. I have a green card. Can I file for my child on the 21? Yes, you can. However, if that child is in the country and the child doesn't maintain valid status, then that child would not be able to adjust the status without having to leave. If the child is now over 18, then they've been they start to accrue a lawful presence once they turn 18. So you're probably better off seeing an attorney to make sure you know what you're doing. Can you please tell me about the U visa? U visa is basically a humanitarian visa for those who have been victims of the qualifying crimes. I no longer do U visa, so I won't give you any information because I don't do that anymore. Okay. Thank you, 7 point stars. That didn't come out right. I didn't say point star. point stars. Oh Lord Jesus. Listen. I was gonna say it's a Monday, but it's not a Monday, so I can lie on that one. Okay. And you Instagram people and Joe. Can I remarry a spouse I once divorced? Nothing stops you from remarrying a spouse you once divorced. But if you're going to be filing, which I think is what is going on, if you're a citizen, it's probably better for you to become a citizen first if you're not one before you do that. Yeah, small Anthony left. He said he's hungry. He needs to go eat. You gotta love kids. I'm telling you. Even the Bible acknowledges that. Out of the mouth of babes, they will tell you the truth. And they don't play. Want to know the truth about yourself? Go ask a kid. Attorney teacher. The funny thing is, none of my boys are interested in the legal field. They don't talk much. TJ knows how to argue, and I think that's the only person in my life where I pull out the mom card at some point because I just tell him to just be quiet and get out. Because the kid he would go on and on. And the thing is, at least if I go to court, I'm making money arguing. When I fight with USCIs, I'm making money fighting with them. Then I have to come home and fight with a 12-year-old that I'm not making money on in my own house. And those are rent and me because of mortgage. And then you will not frustrate my life in my own. No. You got to shut it down. Like, I'm just glad the kid is not a girl because Illinois only because I would have sent the girl packing. No, Miko, hello day. Hello, God bless, child. How are you? Okay, let's see. Tell us how to achieve bikini body. I'm the last person to advise you about that. Trust me. I don't work out every day. I'm conscious of because see, some people are probably going to get mad about this, but that's okay. Growing up, I've always been the person growing up in Nigeria where I just didn't understand why after having kids, then everybody is going to just quote unquote, and this is not limit anyone, let themselves go kind of thing. Because some people have health issues and all. But if you don't have any excuse, the fact that you become a mother does not mean you stop taking care of yourself. That's just me. And that's because I saw an example in my mother. So I knew that I was just not going to be that parent. Okay, now I have a kid. Because I have a kid doesn't mean I die. I didn't now. I just had a child. I had 2 children. Doesn't mean life ends. Doesn't mean number, as my mom was saying, number means you want that. So I'm aware of or let me say I don't diet, so don't get me wrong. I have no, but I'm aware of the importance of being healthy. I'm very conscious of my health and I don't take it for granted. And then I don't like to wear a lot of clothes. And though I like clothes, if you're gonna be showing your arms enough, it would be nice to take care of yourself. So I am not the one to teach you how, because listen, I've got stretch marks because I've had two kids with C-sections. Um, that's just what happens. But you hit a certain part in time in your life, and you embrace everything about you, and you just have to work with what God's given you, and thank your body as a mother, as a woman, as a mother. Get up each day and look in the mirror and tell your body, thank you for being gracious to me, thank you for giving me, for being the vessel to bring life into the world. So we get to a point where we have to learn to embrace everything about us and not be ashamed. Don't even give anyone the consent to body shame you in any way. Once you get to that point, I think you just like don't care. And for me, that's where I got to, like, you know what? I look at my butt and I say, you've done well, girl. Like, you have brought life into this world. You have breastfed them. They are thriving, and you're still standing. what I know these two big-headed kids. So that's it. It's just being able to love yourself just the way you are, really. I will send all this condolences to my ex-husband. He would appreciate that. Thank you, Illinois. Okay, let's see. How long after your VAWA case is approved before your I-45 gets approved? Depends on when you filed it, and if they're going to schedule an interview. And if not, there's no timeline. You can go on uscis.gov/present times to see that, to see the present times. How possible is it to file for kids outside the United States with 2 years? A conditional resident can file for their kids under the age of 21, or unmarried over the age of 21, even as a conditional resident, you can. Can a 25-year-old man file for his 33-year-old wife? Why not? That's not a big age difference at all. Okay, let's see. That's just my printer. Ignore it. Been 5 months, no biometrics for 751 VA. Do you have a lawyer in your case? If not, call them. They may not give you information because it's going to be probably sealed. But you can request, if you don't have a lawyer in your case, you probably have to write them physically. But call and just see what you get from USCIS when you call. I have a sister that's married to a citizen for over 10 years with 2 children, but she came into the United States illegally. Her papers has been with immigration since then. What can she do? She needs to sit down with a lawyer and figure out what's going on. And I can answer what can she do without knowing what's been going on in her case. Okay. How long does it take to file for a daughter of age 32? If you check the visa bulletin, let me even check it real quick. I'll let you know. Is the daughter over the age of 32 married, unmarried? What's your status? Are you a citizen? Those are the questions that go into that. But I'm assuming you are a citizen and unmarried sons and daughters of citizens F1 are working in cases filed in 2014. Unmarried sons and daughters are children who are 21 years and older. So 32-year will fall within that. Unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents F2B, they're working in cases received in 2015. So whatever category your child falls into under, then you can figure that out, how long it would take. If an asylum case was granted last July, when is the right time to file for green card? I would say go ahead and file, especially with the new policy where they're saying that as long as you have been physically present in the United States for a year at the time that they adjudicate your green card application, not at the time you file. So that's changed. It used to be at the time you file. Now it's at the time that they adjudicate your green card application. You must have been physically present in the United States. We are in March. July is about 4 months. I would say give or take, if you want to wait till May, and I don't see how they would, no, knocking wood, you never know. But generally, I don't see how it would be adjudicated within 2 months. So by the time they're adjudicating your case, hopefully it's at that July mark. And unless you just want to wait the what I want in March, 4 months or to June, and then at that time you should be fine. While your 751 is still pending, can you file an N400? Yes, you can if you are eligible. Like Mr. K's case, now, disclaimer. His case obviously is one of those cases I call unicorn cases because USCIS received his case in end of November, la file case in 751, December, January, February, March, 4 months from filing, interview, approval. That is super fast. For 751, that takes forever. I still have his the funny thing is I still have his 48-month extension that he sent to me the week before. Doesn't need it now. But if your I-751 has been pending for a while, you're now eligible for citizenship based on 3 years, especially if you're filing an abuse-based case, then an N400 can help to speed it up. Good to have you back. I missed you to Miss Abena. Call me. I'm still expecting your call. Miss Abena, call me. Don't forget to give me a call so we can talk. Okay? File for EB3 and I just got my green card. Congratulations. But when can I file for citizenship again? It's going to be 5 years from the time from the date. The green card will have resident since, so that date, if you're talking of employment-based green card, then it's going to be 5 years from that date. 90-day window before the 5th year anniversary. Thank you, God bless child _1. Thank you. I'm trying not to think about it because I'm right-handed. So imagine being not able to, it's just, but we'll see. I'm praying that, I can do another MRI and somehow, because God He is the great healer. There's nothing He cannot do. It doesn't matter, the physician says there's no other way. It's torn. But the Bible says, whose report will I believe? So call me crazy. That's just how my mind works. Yes. Okay. Miss Abena, people are paying thousands of dollars for butt lift. People are paying thousands of dollars. Like, I have an aunt, Auntie Bingpe. Let me call her out. Straight Auntie about war. My mom's probably going to tell her sister. I'm not kidding. Auntie B. Tobati Jade Nile. Like she's already in the car. She's in the driveway in the car. She's driving away. Her butt is still in the house. I'm telling you, my mom's got 5 sisters. All 6 of them. All 6 of them only wore the same van because Motoyoni move. They're gonna come for me. I can feel it already. By the time I get up, my aunties are like, I'd be so like, no, listen. I was a kid who everything all my cousins wanted to say growing up, nobody said it. I said it for everybody. That's what it is. I'm just saying that was 6 sisters here. Tobag, all 6 of them in a van. First of all, nothing on the move. Drive or in the drive there. Because, and people are paying money for that. Our sisters, I won't go for our BBL. It's about being for everybody. It's going to like, you get a BBL. You get a BBL. Because, but then again, they gave it to us. Look, we can't complain. Thank you here _island and we can't complain. I mean, we can't complain. That's what it is. Can you talk about asylum process? What do you want to know about asylum process? Thank you, Illinois. Yeah, because that was what you want to know. I've talked about it. Like, I don't think there's a topic I haven't touched on. Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Javon. Am I dating anybody? I'm not. Um, hmm, but I'm a whole chapter by myself. It is as my there's a friend of mine, God rest his soul, he passed away. He like I've been saying everyone, but you like you must have stamina to handle that girl. Because she's a whole lot. I submitted medical RFP 140 days ago to Baltimore field office. I haven't heard back for it. It's an advice. Call USCIS and ask for update or keep waiting. Call them. That's one of the situations where I call or write and send a demand letter like, yo, it's past 120 days. We need to do something. But disclaimer, this is all general information. This is general information, nothing about anybody's case. Is it a problem or red flag to file for I-751 when the spouse is living in another state? What is the reason why they're living in another state? I don't have the 48 months extension yet. Can I travel with 24 months extension? Yes, you can, as long as it's still valid. Just yesterday I received an extension of 48 months. Is it a good sign? It's not a bad sign. They put the policy out there. We're going to be doing that. So everyone should be expecting to receive that. So that's what's going to be happening. So it's nothing. It's just what the policy, and they're just following what the policy is. Thank you, God's favorite. I will pass your message along if she's not on here. Okay. Amen. Amen. Good health for her. I would pass your message as she go in there. Appreciate that. Can I use an informal marriage certificate to apply for a green card? It's valid in Texas. I don't know what you mean by informal. What does that mean? Convert I-130 to I-360. Just basically, you're moving from an I-130 to basis to an I-360. You're changing the underlying basis of your pending or your pending or impending green card application. Legal field is stressful. I don't blame that. So on that point, do y'all know that mental breakdown, lawyers have the second highest rate of suicide in depression and mental breakdown? I bet y'all did not know. So 2 weeks ago, a colleague of mine, I would say more than a colleague, a friend, passed away. I don't want to get emotional on that. Long story short, I felt she was an attorney, and I use emphasis on was because she took her own life. And based on what they found, and I spoke with her daughter, based on what they found, she was overstressed, overwhelmed, and could not keep up. So, for instance, in my state, in the state of Alabama, May has been declared. Each May is a mental wellness month for lawyers, and we're all required to have a retreat that month or something. And part of CLE, continue to go education, is going to be to take a course or one of our accredited classes in mental wellness. It's a high pressured field. Your brain is moving constantly. And then, people want to know about their cases, which is fine, but people always forget that lawyers are humans as well. And for me, I was gone only 4 days, and emails, unless it was important and I had someone forwarding me, okay, this needs to be responded to. Even my boys was like, I thought you said you were shutting everything down, but I had to remind myself that if into my life, don't practice law, you've got to take care of your health. And that's it's a very stressful. It's the truth. I make it a lot of fun, but it's very, very stressful. and one just has to keep being prayerful and asking God for strength. Illinois Sanctuary. Okay, I'm making money by arguing with TJ. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Um, what if you incurred a public charge? What do? You may be found inadmissible, and then you may be eligible for uh, a waiver. Okay, let's see. Mild exercises, jump ropes. So what I do, because I love to dance, Illinois, I love dancing. I love to dance. Like, y'all is a party in my car, driving every day to work. Shh. And you would dance by force. So that's my form, and I never sit still. So oh, that's another thing. I don't eat fast food, and I think that helps. I don't buy. If we're getting fast food in our house, it's because we're on the road trip. So I don't care to cook, but I would rather cook than buy fast food. No judgment on anybody. I'm just saying what works for me. So I think that helps me to and my kids are health conscious, not because they learn anything from me, because I'm learning from them. TJ's into sports. He plays soccer. He plays basketball. He does weightlifting. He runs. SJ works out every single day. So as you know, if a copy, okay, this kid is going to, and here we are. But we don't do fast food. No, I don't. Can I represent someone in Texas? Yes. Okay, let me see if I'm on there. I can answer before we get. I know we missed the whole week, so I think on Thursday, what we're going to do is I probably would do. I had another topic to talk about on Thursday, but I probably would do question and answer. When can I apply for citizenship after green card got approved through that? After 3 years as a green card holder. Miss Abena, you're right. Even when it's natural, people think you have. People have asked me, like, y'all, I ain't gonna show you my butt, obvious, but if you go on my personal page on my Facebook personal page, you probably see people ask me like, auntie, she ain't know, she ain't know so often. Like, I take that as a compliment. It's not me, it's my mother's family. Mm. Okay, Dreezy. No worries, whoa, boy. Can my pending I-751 affect my wife that came to the United States? N400. She came to the States as a child of a U.S. citizen. I don't see any reason why it should. Oh, you're talking about common law marriage. Common law marriage is recognized in the state of Texas. And once if a form of marriage is recognized in a state, USCIS is required, and I use that word loosely, to recognize that. But why don't you just get married? Illinois, yes, that was a sad thing, and it's I always tell people, all our clients will go on and find new attorneys. Their lives continue, the cases continue, but for her family, it's a 100% loss. Her daughter just graduated; is going to be graduating high school. Looking forward to her mom being there on graduation day, but that's not going to happen now. I mean, she's going to be there in spirit, but yeah. You just never know what people are going through. That's true. Okay. Can you work in a different state with 2-year green card while your spouse is a different state? Will it affect you getting a 10-year green card? You have to have a reasonable explanation why you're not in the same state. Employment usually takes people away from home, but USCIS wants to see that you're going back home every week, every other week. You guys are making the trips. You can't just say, I'm working in another state and you're there for 6 months without seeing your spouse. That's questionable. How long does USCIS take to respond to intent to deny after the request document is sent in? There's no specific time, and it depends on each field office. I need to talk to you privately about my sister's case. When can I call you? Please, you can set up a consultation. I don't offer free consultation to talk about a specific case. You can go to our website, www.ololayalawfirm.com. Call my office, and they will, let them know you want to set up a meeting. Consultation is 30 minutes, 130, 45 minutes, 200, and 1 hour, 230. So that's how we can sit down and evaluate your sister's case. Okay. All right, people. I think what we'll do on Thursday is we will okay, Ms. Balo, that I don't know what that could be. Request for additional evidence. It could be your birth, maybe your birth certificate was not. Usually, that's what, for the most part, that's what it is. If it says initial, then it's something that should have been sent at the beginning. So for the most part, it's, if you didn't send the long form birth certificate, then you may be getting ready to get a declaration of age. So just wait and see what it is. That's fine. No worries. Is it possible for USCIS to approve your vow after your green card application has been pending since February 2021 and now renewed 2 years EAD? Mr. West, yes, because let me see something real quick. Let me see something. I want to make sure. If not, then I have to do that. But I will let you know. Hold on, people. Before I forget, here we go. I always tell people that my laptop is my whole law firm. It's backed up every day because, ooh, Lord have mercy. If it's not backed up, no, it's not this one. Let me check this other one. I don't want to forget. Bear with me, people, because that's an important part of what I need to do. Let's see. Okay. So yes, especially if you have, Mr. West, if you had the I-130 before, where you can transfer the priority date. The enemy mouth is no good. Hey, my mother's family there. Yeah. Just saying. Okay. Curiousness, you have to sit down with a lawyer and discuss your case. Ricardo, convert 130 to 360. That's what I answered. I think you were on Instagram as well. I got a deficiency letter. What should I do, Godson? Should I go for medical or I wait for them to request? The deficiency notice specifically states you don't have to do anything now. Godson, read that notice again. There's a part where it says you do not have to take any action. Well, we'll let you know. If we decide to waive interview, we will send you an RFE. If we're going to schedule an interview, we will send you an interview notice. That's your cue to bring that 693. It's very specific in there. You've got to read it. Your answer to your question is right in the notice that you got. All right, everyone. Alan, what you can do is at the time your 45 is going to be adjudicated, if you're still insisting not getting the COVID shot, two things can either happen. Based on religious beliefs, you may need a waiver, but they may actually have the discretion to actually waive that and still grant your green card. So you wouldn't know until that happens. Okay, people. Thank you so much. Hello, Mr. Adibao. Oh, I'll send you the notice. I have your notice for you. We'll do questions and answer on Thursday, like Barolong. So, but it's the spring season already started officially. I think today. We'll go out to spring forward. I think. Well, those of us who spring forward, but I pray that we was all spring into blessings, new horizons, new joy, um, grace unending. Grace is God's unmerited favor. And as long as we keep having grace, grace makes room for us, even when things do not seem to be going well. Trusting God, even when life doesn't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense each and every day. There's a lot of things that we want, because my friend, my colleague slash friend, when I heard things like, life doesn't make sense. Well, this is a woman who looked like everything was going well. She had everything she could ever want. What could have gone wrong? But staying prayerful, and even when the devil comes to our mind trying to make us doubt. I was telling the client earlier today, and he says, I just want to give up. I'm like, we can't give up. We are children of the Most High God. We are already living, moving, and breathing testimonies. So in spite of what life throws at us, we have to keep going. It may look gloomy, it may look sad, it may look impossible, but then again, we serve an invisible God who does the impossible. He is the God of impossibilities. It's not, if you keep thinking about it with your human mind. I was telling one of my clients earlier, just sent an email like, my human understanding is, at best, your case is a 50-50 chance. But that is me as a mere human speaking. But who am I to decide what God wants to do in your case? And that's the way I operate. I mean, obviously, logically, I have to tell you, hey, I can never promise you an outcome because I don't know. I've seen cases that are strong and get denied. But God's forbid, I'm glad. But just don't give up. We've come too far to give up. Bible says he who has begun a good work in us, he's able to continue and to complete it until the coming of Jesus. That means God will keep doing the work until the second coming of Christ, which I believe is going to happen. So why give up? We can't give up. Take a break, shut everything down, recharge, reset, pray. If things are going well, pray. Things are going bad, pray. You get your approvals, pray. You get delays, pray. Because prayer works wonders. Prayer moves mountains. And that's the power we have. That's the power we have that works without fail. That is our communication with God. And if we have the power of prayer, even when we don't feel like it, you may not have the words, but that's when we call upon the Holy Spirit to intercede on our behalf and just be an intercessor between us and God, knowing our heart. And it shall be well. It shall be well. It shall be well. All that our hands find to do shall prosper. In all that we set our minds to do, we shall excel. We may not see it now, but keep in mind that everyone's season is different. My season is different from yours. Yours is different from mine. As long as we keep believing, we keep hoping against hope. That's what Abraham did when it didn't seem like there was only going to be any other way. But he remains the same God yesterday, today, and forever. God does not change. Invisible, unchangeable God. And so I know that it shall be well. Let's just keep, supporting one another. And that's why for me, I have zero tolerance for negativity. I block people if you're going to come with anything, because life is challenging alone. We're adults. If you follow me on Facebook, I said, this adult thing is a big scam, because you become an adult and responsibilities can kill you. But then we got to keep going. We don't have a choice. We have children dependent on us. We've got to be parents. We've got to go to work. We've got to be tutors and help them with their homework. We're chefs. We're drivers. America makes you do everything that we can pay people to do easily back in our countries. And then we have to wait for immigration to do the right thing. And sometimes they just don't. But we can't let other people's actions dictate whether or not we're going to keep believing. So just remain blessed, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining me each and every time. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you guys on Thursday.